thought I'd talk tonight about is we're on the weekend launch of Gay Pride. The exciting thing about taking a journey is really, I think, trying to learn what an authentic life is for each of us. Authenticity means so many things to so many different people, but I think to get there, what we try to do is we try to find how to live our life in passion, how to love our people, and how to live the planet. Everybody has that same thing in their commonality and what they look for, but how do we become authentic? For instance, for me, growing up, I grew up in a little town, and nobody even talked about gay. Nobody even said the words. And I remember sitting in my mom's living room, and we're sitting there, and she's sitting next to my cousin, and I heard him whispering, and then I heard Johnny Mathis. And I was like, Johnny Mathis? Why did they say Johnny Mathis? Well, back then, and I kind of knew, but we didn't talk about any of that stuff. You didn't say it. Well, this little town was Chattanooga. Very, very conservative little place, and we just didn't talk about those things. So when we grew up to be very conservative. And I remember hearing Johnny Mathis, and I thought, he's different than all those other people that they talk about openly. And what's different about him? But inside me, I knew there was something different too. I didn't know what it was because nobody talked about it. I had no idea what it was. So the journey began. I began to walk through life, trying to figure out, oh my God, am I what Johnny Mathis was? Am I a gay man? Nobody talks about this kind of stuff, but then life started getting a little difficult, and we had to kind of figure out, okay, how am I going to be the loving creature that I can be? How can I love people when I can't even be authentic with myself? I don't even know what that means. So I got into college, and I went to UTC here, and then I had this great opportunity to go work for the Republican National Committee. I was like the #1 student in the United States, and they said, hey Bates, you can go anywhere you want to go in the United States and see what's going on. So I said, I want to go to LA. I've never been to a big city. I came from this little conservative town, and in LA, I'm going to learn something really exciting. So I went to LA, and I came back gay. I just came back gay. And I was just full of life and full of energy, and oh my God, the fraternity guys figured out, oh my God, he's gay, and he's like bringing guys into the room, and they're like, oh, we can't have this. So they said, Bates, can you move? So I moved, and that was the first part of my journey. So I kind of came out a little bit, but I didn't come out to my family, I didn't come out to anybody else, and eventually one day my family found out, and it freaked me out so badly that I said, okay, I'm going to change for you. I'm going to be straight. I'm going to go ask God, make me straight. So I went to God, I went to their church, and God was like, okay, I made you straight. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I imagined up this girl, and I married her, and we had 2 amazing, beautiful children. And about 7 years later, I started lashing out. I started going, for no reason. I had this amazing life. I got to travel around the world, down with princes and princesses in foreign countries and work in embassies. And I had this beautiful facade of a life made up. And one day I couldn't take it anymore. I had 2 amazing children, but I had built everything on a bunch of lies. Because inside me, I was never authentic with myself. And you know what? Society wanted me to do that. They wanted me to pretend I was what they wanted me to be, and I didn't. What I lost was my truth. Now, I'm not saying the universe didn't put all this stuff into place for a real reason, because it did, because I now have children that are the example of what I wish I could have been. And so all of this was for a reason. All of it is for real, but the thing we have to remember is that if we can't find the truth and authenticity of who we are, whether we be gay or straight or green or black or gray or purple or any, or Jewish or Hindu or whatever that truth is, and if we can't speak those words, bring them into our soul, into our heart, and then express them out into the world without ever hurting anyone, with pure love, that's when we find the authenticity within ourselves. And we can go out and we can change the world because we become the example of who we truly, truly, truly can be. It was that day that I made a decision, Elijah Deming, I made a decision that I'd never tell another lie again. had the choice of telling my wife at that time, either I'm just getting divorced and this is your fault, or leave it kind of blank so she thought it was her fault, or I took the blame and I said, I'm gay. And I created a bunch of bubbles of lies. And for the next 10 years, I had to go around popping every single bubble, hundreds and thousands of people's lives that I touched and affected because society wanted me to be what they wanted me to be. And I told lie upon lie upon lie. And then I had to take all those and undo all those lies. Today, I live a life of authenticity. I live a life of love. To the best of my ability, it's my journey. It's like the music, it's just one step at a time. But I just ask you, as we step onto the verge of Pride this weekend, learn to speak the truth. Learn to love yourself. Figure out who you are as soon as you can so you can go out and love the world and be an amazing, amazing person and make the world a better place. Thanks.